Senate Blue Ribbon Committee on September 8, that Congressman Saldico was the proponent of about 3.5 billion worth of GAN-funded flood projects in 2025 for Oriental Mindoro. Lumabas na naman sa balita na halos SunWest at Hi-Tone ni Saldico ang kontraktor ng mga proyekto sa probinsya ng Oriental Mindoro. Sa mga nalalaman natin na mga modo sa Bulacan Engineering District, gusto ko lang tanungin kung may direct po ba kayong linya, RD Gerard Pacanan, kay Congressman Saldico para maipasok ang mga project sa region nyo. Dahil kayong RD, nasabi nyo na rin kanina, na bilang inyong, dahil kayo po ay on official capacity, nakakausap nyo yung mga kailangan makausap dyan. So nakakausap nyo ba't meron ba kayong direct ng linya kay Congressman Saldico?
Your Honor, again, Saldico is also an accused and there's a pending case. So I respectfully invoke my right against self-incrimination.
Pero po yung SunWest Corporation at yung pong Hi-Tone Construction Corporation, ito po ang majority na nakakuha ng proyekto sa inyong region. No, ilang bilyon po ang kanilang nakuha mga proyekto na na-identified na kung hindi substandard ay ghost. So, pamilyar ka ba sa Hi-Tone Corporation, Construction Corporation at SunWest Corporation?
Again, Your Honor, those construction firm are also subject of the case. And again, I respectfully invoke my right against self-incrimination.
Anyway, Mr. Chair, kaya ako po tinatanong to, no? Dahil gusto natin malaman kung ganito ba yung pare-parehong nangyayaring scheme. Ganito yung nangyari sa First Engineering District sa Bulacan. Ayaw lang sumagot ni RD Pacanan, pero kung ganito rin sa Mindoro. At siguro, just for the record, Mr. Chair, may ilang distrito na biglang lumobo from the NEP. For example, Occidental Mindoro, yung pong NEP nila ng 2025, 2.533 billion. Yung GAA, naging 20.99 billion. So, almost 17.5 billion ang inangat. Yung Oriental Mindoro, from 1.5 billion NEP 2025, yung GAA po, naging 20.795 billion. So, halos from 1.5 billion to 20.7 billion. Ito pong nasasakupan. Meron pa, Southern Mindoro, from 1.4 billion, naging 8.999 billion. So, RD Pacanan, ito po yung mga District Engineering Office na nasasakupan mo, Occidental Mindoro, Oriental Mindoro, and Southern Mindoro. Tama ho ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Do you confirm na ganito kalaki ang nilobon from National Expenditure Program na tagto 2.5 billion, 1.5 billion, naging more than 20 billion yung bawat distrito? Alam nyo ba ito?
I cannot categorically confirm because I don't have the exact figure, Your Honor. I mean, Mr. Chair.
So saan nangyari? Paano nyo hindi, pero alam nyo, ito yung inyong distrito, pwede nyo bang i-recall yan sa susunod? Subukan nyo po na, kung alam nyo po na ganun ang nilobo ng inyo pong mga distritong hawak, na ganun kalaki. Bakit ho ganun kalaki? Alam nyo, hindi ba kayo nagtataka na napakalaki? Buti kung, Mr. Che, kung nadagdagan lang ng halimbawa, 1.5 billion, nadagdagan ng ilang daang milyon, pero ito, from 1.5 billion to 20 billion. From 2 billion, 2.5 billion to 20.999 billion. Hindi ba kayo nagtaka? Bakit ganun?
Mr. Chair, first po, kami DPWH po is just an implementing agency po. So, whatever funds po na nasa GAA, we will implement it po.
Sige po.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Bago
President.
mo iwanan.
Senate President Trigonoez.
Yes, bago mo iwanan yun. So sa NEP yan, Your Honor, sa NEP yung 1.something billion.
Yes, Mr. Senate President, yung Occidental Mindoro, 2.53 billion. Oriental Mindoro is 1.508 billion. Southern Mindoro is 1.472 billion.
Sa NEP yan.
Sa NEP po. Apo.
Okay, pagdating sa GAA,
Yung Occidental
20 billion
Mindoro,
na.
naging 20 billion na ho. Dalawang 20 billion at isang 8.9 billion.
Saan, anong year yan? 2025. Oh, ito nga, itong last year's budget. Ang tanong, saan nangyari yan? Sa GAB ng House, sa GAB ng Senate, o sa BICAM? Would the DPH be able to answer that? You were Secretary of DPWH then, former Secretary Bonoan. So yung NEP, alam mo yung NEP, yun yung,
Yes, yes.
no? Oh, saan nangyari na pagdating sa'yo sa GAA, 20 billion na yung mga proyektong yun?
Yes, Your Honor. We noted that actually, that after the GAA has been passed, actually yun ang allocation nila.
Yung nga, insertion, ano? Congressional
BICAM.
insertion. Would you know kung sa BICAM o kung saan nangyari yan?
It's small. Sa akin lang, Mr. Chair, I think because when we presented the budget sa NEP to House, nakapasa. Pumunta kami sa Senate, NEP pa rin po yung pinasa namin.
Yun pa rin.
Yung pa rin, nakapasa. But
So
then
sa
after the BICAM, ganun na po yung ano.
Sa BICAM na dagdag. Ayun. Ayun ang what we were trying to prevent from happening in 2026 and in the future. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator
our Senate
JV,
President.
ano lang, maka-butt in lang, and I'd like to get the opinion of the DOJ. Ano? RD Pacanya, if you think your testimony will be indispensable to convict the more guilty personalities, have you considered applying to be a witness? And I'd like to get the opinion of the DOJ kung too late na ba si Gerard Pacanya to apply kasi nasa korte na yung kanyang kaso. Pakanan.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is a case which was handled and investigated by the Office of the Ombudsman. So we are not privy to the details. But if the question is if he can still apply under
No,
the
policy question. Not
If-
necessarily pertaining to him.
if a witness is already charged in court, he can still avail of the opportunity to be discharged as a state witness. But this will have to be done under a different manner. This will be done by discharge under Rule 119 of the Rules of Court. And this will have to be with the court's approval. Yung discharge po yung sa amin po kasi under the Witness Protection Program, drop ka na kaagad sa information po.
Correct. And the court, it is up to the court to discharge him
Yes, Your
as,
Hon- yes.
as a state witness.
Yes, Mr. Chair. A motion will have to be filed by the prosecution asking for the discharge with the court, and then the court will evaluate the statement of the applicant.
And more often than not, basta in-applyan ng or pinetition ng prosecutor, more often than not, ina-approve ng korte, di ba?
Meron
Pero your
ho-
experience,
Yeah, from my experience, Mr. Chair, as a general rule, yes, but there are also certain instances when the court refuses.
so I think that's something that you have to think about, ano? Director, RD. If you're willing. Kasi ang habol natin dito, the more guilty. No? Kasi kung less guilty siya, at the outset, he may qualify to be discharged. Ano? Of course, the court will decide. So think it over. Unless you want to continue to cover up for anybody or desidido ka ng labanan yung kaso mo.
Mr. Chairman, just a manifestation very quickly.
Can he answer first?
Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I appreciate your concern. Very much appreciated po. But I have to confer with my lawyers.
Sleep over it. Sleep over it.
Yeah. Thank you po.
Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, he's again covering his face. Can we instruct the resource person to remove his mask and the headgear? Let's respect the Senate, not the senators. The Senate is an institution. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, if I may continue. Tanong ko lang, no, since this is in aid of legislation, ang notorious talaga na nalaman natin talaga yung first engineering district sa Bulacan and itong Region 4B under Pakanan. Siguro, tanong ko lang kay Yusek Bernardo, ito bang, kasi may mga ilang distrito na nabanggit ko, no, titignan mo, ang lilit nung NEP nila, biglang lolobo. No? May nangyari sa Sibuyan, meron din sa ibang probinsya, na mukhang doon nagkaroon ng parking na tinatawag. So, pareho-pareho ba itong scheme na ito nangyari doon in selected districts no, na talagang lumobo? Ganito rin ba nangyari? At nandito ba yung mga substandard and ghost projects?
Mr. Chair, tungkol po sa substandard projects, I cannot, wala po akong masasabi doon kasi doon po sa kalakaran ng binabanggit ko sa inyo kanina na meron pong nagbebentahan o nag-aalok ng proyekto, nangyayari po yun, yun ang pagkakaalam ko. But definitely doon po sa substandard or ghost projects, wala na po akong kwan doon hindi na po nasusubaybayan. I think that even the proponent themselves cannot track the implementation of the projects. Kasi nga po, basta na-release lang po yung pondo, meron na pong, kumbaga, nagkakaroon na po ng transaction doon, basta po na-release na yung pondo. So, whether naging ghost po yun or hindi or what, yung pong proponent or whoever, maaari po ay hindi na po nila alam yun. Yun po, Mr. Chair.
So sige, huli na lang. RD, no, bago ko iwanan to, no, I still have 3 minutes. Yung high tone and yung high tone construction in Sunwest, no, familiar ka dahil ulitin ko lang, familiar ka dito sa dalawang construction corporate kasi karamihan or bulk, the majority of the big projects na nakakuha sa iyong region ay sa dalawang korporasyon na ito. Familiar ka sa dalawa?
Your Honor, familiar ako because they are part of the top 15. But again, Your Honor, since that contractor is also the subject of the pending case against me, I respectfully invoke my right against self-incrimination.
Okay na yan. Basta alam mo, siyempre familiar ka. Alam mo rin ba na kay itong pag-aari ni Saldico ito? You may or may not answer, pero alam mo bang ito yung
No, Your
pag-aari
Honor.
ni Congressman Saldico?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anyway, siguro po tayo, I'll just reserve the others for my second round. Pero yung po sa wrong coordinates total na pag-usapan kanina, siguro pwedeng sagutin ni Yusek Bernardo, Yusek Bisnar. So ito po ay sadya at this was deliberate para po maitago ba yung mga ghost projects or substandard? Ito ba ano ba ang rason bakit nagkaroon ng deliberate submission of wrong coordinates?
Mr. Chair, again po, no, whether it was deliberate or not, we cannot really answer on behalf of the ones who submitted. Pag ito po ay mga naabutan lang po namin, ang amin lang pong ginawa ay yung factual by checking the coordinates and yung actual na location. But as to the intention in submitting, we cannot answer po, Mr. Chair.
So kanina nabanggit nyo, no? So just to confirm, ilan po yung projects na confirmed na sa buong investigahan nyo, ilan lang yung ghost and lodged under wrong coordinates? Ilan yung total? Pwede rin si Yusek Besnar, parang siya yung
Mr. Chair, we will have to await the final number from the ICI, no, until we finish this validation. Again po, we are still finalizing the list. Ayaw po namin magbitaw na salita na baka mamaya po ay makuryente po kami. So we are finalizing and within, as soon as practicable, we will release the list with the corresponding results of wrong coordinates and ghost projects, Mr. Chair.
So, paano po yung iba ron? May mga nandun din sa list ng wrong coordinates na kumbaga lehitimo o legit na proyekto na meron delivery. Doon sa mga hindi ghost, no? Of course, meron wala kayong idea kung ilang percent ang na-deliver or legitimate projects.
Yung percent po, we have the numbers po, Mr. Chair. Kaya lang po, ayaw po namin munang ibitawan. Baka nga po subject of validation pa. But within that figure, meron pong mga nandun yung structure sa PCMA coordinates. Meron din po talaga na ibang coordinates, wala
Nadamay.
po sa parehas. Opo.
So ibig sabihin nito, no, Mr. Chair, hindi naman sa inaano natin yung mga contractors na may mga dadamay dito, mga lehitimong contractor na meron delivery na nasama po dito dahil nga po ginulo nila kung sino man ang nagpasa ng mga wrong coordinates, may mga nadadamay dito mga lehitimo at yung mga merong delivery at meron pong projects na nagawa.
Possibly, Mr. Chair. However, meron po kasi ding proseso on the paglipat po ng coordinates. So we will have to check. Yun din po yung subject of validation kapag nga po nasunod sa proseso yung kanilang paglipat ng coordinates at hindi po sila nagpapalusot lang na nagtuturo ng ibang proyekto.
The reason I ask, Mr. Chair, or I bring this issue up, of course, we are for the reforms. Itong gusto natin matuntong kung sino talaga yung may mga kinalaman dito sa mga ghost and substandard projects. But infrastructure program has to continue. Hindi, alam natin may show cause order tayo. Show cause tayo ng show cause, no? Pero yung infrastructure projects, this is the engine of growth, economic growth. Kailangan magtuloy-tuloy. And my worry, Mr. Chair, marami sa mga contractors natatakot na raw mag-bid kasi nga mga nadamay sa mga wrong coordinates at iba pa at iba pang issues, no? So, do you confirm, again, Yusek Bernabe, pwede po mangyari, no, na marami palang mga may delivery na nadamay po rito?
Possibly, Mr. Chair. Possibly.
Yun na po, sana po bilisan nyo ang pakiusap natin na maklear na yung mga lehitimong meron delivery because infrastructure projects should not stop. No, sabi ko nga, may showcase tayo, pero yung showcase natin na meron tayong ginagawa na maayos should not stop. So sana mabilis lang na maklear to para now that we have approved already the reformed General Appropriations Act na magsisimula na rin yung mga projects, kailangan magbid naman, may magbid, may sumali. Ngayon daw, natatakot na yung iba. So yun lang yung pakiusap natin, sana bilisin po ng DOJ at iba pa. So, last question, Mr. Chair. Ano pong maaring recourse ng mga legitimate contractors na naapekto ng mga wrong coordinates para at least tuloy-tuloy na sila po ay makasali pa rin, no, sa mga proyekto sa darating na ano para tuloy-tuloy pa yung ating proyekto at yung engines for economic growth, ika nga.
Yes. Actually, Mr. Chair, doon naman po sa listahan natin, no, kahit naman po sila ay part ng list, kaya lang, while we are still pending validation, hindi naman po sila na-terminate ng contract. Hindi rin naman po sila kinasuhan. Yun pong mga pending cases as of the moment, ito po talaga ay yung mga found to be ghost or substandard. So hindi naman po kinasuhan lahat ng mga nandyan at hindi naman po talaga naapektuhan yung mga 400 na suspected na baka lang po na ligaw ng lokasyon, Mr. Chair. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang ating infrastructure program.
Yes, again, sabi ko nga, Mr. Chair, yung showcase natin, yung ating pong pagtugi sa mga talagang mga tiwali at may kinalaman dito, kailangan magtuloy-tuloy, yung galit, pero yung pong mga maayos na makailangan din natin for our infrastructure projects. Thank you, Mr. Chair. My time is up.
Thank you. Senator Win Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat po. Mr. Chairman, I'll just continue the topic of the coordinates. Ito kay Yusek Bernabe o kay Yusek Bisnar. Actually, dapat walang pagpapalit ng coordinates. Dahil I'm reading itong National Budget Memorandum 153 dated 2027-2004. Ito yung connected to sa budget call. No? Buti andito si Secretary Toledo. Na very clear na dapat ang project ay shovel/implementation ready. No? So ibig sabihin, pag binigyan ng pondo, implement na kaagad. No? And dito sa National Budget Memorandum 154, nakasulat rin, ang ibig sabihin ng shovel/implementation readiness, may feasibility study, may detailed engineering, may merong right-of-way acquisition, etc., etc. So, ibig sabihin may detalye. Alam na kung saan itatayo, saan na igagawa, at dahil alam nila meron na silang coordinates. Pero kanina pinakita nyo yung mga yung actual nila 2 kilometers, baka iba pa nga more than 2 kilometers. So paano nagkaganon? Kung implementation ready at meron ng feasibility study, meron ng detailed engineering design, at ang layo nung proposed at ang layo nung actual. Paano nagkaganon?
Yes po. Tama po kayo, Mr. Chair. No? Kaya nga po, may mga reforms po kami para maiwasan itong mga human intervention sa paglagay ng mga coordinates. Yung pong sa NIPS coordinates, as you mentioned, Mr. Chair, ito nga po yung sa planning stage. No? Ideally po, yung coordinates mo sa planning and sa implementation ay bangga. However, for various reasons, either nga po yung sinasabi ni Sec. Bernardo na lumipat yung ilog, o kaya po mayroong mga right-of-way issue, or kung ano naman po, for various reasons, minsan po yung ating mga contractor, gagawin na lang sa ibang lugar. And usually po, meron dapat yan proseso. Either ma-modify mo yung coordinate, mga ganyan po. No? And sapagkat baka yan po yung hindi na nagagawa. So yun din po yung part ng aming validation, whether kahit na ba merong construction sa ibang coordinates, if that was properly done, sumunod sa proseso, meron pong justification, etc.
Iko-connect ko yan dahil nag-budget call na, diba, Secretary Toledo? Nag-umpisa na ang budget call for 2027. So, I'm expecting babalik ang flood control sa 2027 budget. Diba? So, anong reforms ang ginagawa ninyo para ma-assure kami dito na pag bumalik yung flood control projects, hindi na maulit na ni coordinates, hindi na susundan. Yung coordinates kasi basic yun eh. Diba? And in this 2026 budget, and I think DPWH, meron ng mga station numbers tayo linagay, diba? Lahat ng project. But ngayon, dahil nga sinasabi nyo pwedeng mag-move yung coordinates at station numbers, medyo nag-aalangan ako na kahit ilagay natin sa GA, in actual, iba naman yung lalabas. Ang problema doon is validation. Kaya naririnig ko kanina na out of the 420 plus projects, 14 lang pala yung actual na ghost project because nailipat yung actual coordinates. So how do we prevent something like that to happen again in 2027? Dahil ang gusto natin, pag print na sa libro, yun na talaga. Kasi yun naman yung guidelines eh. Nakasulat doon, shovel ready. May feasibility study, may work program. At para magawa mo yung work program, dapat meron kang actual survey. Di ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair, no? Babalik po talaga tayo sa proper planning. Kapag po kasi yung proyekto ay naplano na maayos, dumaan po sa tamang proseso, meron ka ng mga recommendations from the, in this case po, yung ating mga panel of experts na for the master plan ng flood control. Dapat po, kung ano po yung inyong pinlano, ano po yung inyong sinubmit sa central office for NEP, yun na po talaga yung sundin. No? I guess yung dati po, baka po yan sa kakulangan ng pagplano, kaya po para na lang may habol yung proyekto, gagawa ng coordinates, pagdating sa baba, iba pala yung actual, re-remedyohan na lang po. So it comes down to proper planning and proper implementation po, Mr. Chair.
So ibig sabihin yung coordinates, kahit na hindi pa yun yung actual projects, ginagawa na lang for the sake na may malagay sa budget.
Posible po, Mr. Chair. Posible po.
Hindi naman pwede yun dahil kung ganun, hindi based on need yun ating budget. Diba? Parang dinodoktor lang yung coordinates eh, para malagyan lang ng pondo. Tama?
Posible po, Mr. Chair.
At yan naman yung aking gustong i-flag sa DBM because last year when we had our DBCC hearing, hindi katanggap-tanggap yung sinagot ni former Secretary Pangandaman na sinusubo na lang sa kanilang ng DPWH tapos ilalagay sa NEP. So ang DBM being the gatekeeper of our budget, kung isusubo sa inyo basura, bibigay nyo rin sa amin basura. So, ang tanong ko, first sa DPWH, you said may reforms. Ano itong mga reforms na ginagawa ninyo? At how will this translate to the itong consolidation ng DBM na ginagawa? And maybe si Secretary Toledo can answer to that. No? So para hindi ang punto ko lang naman, we're trying to avoid what happened in the past. At in-expect ko kasi babalik ang flood control projects this 2027, di ba? So, notorious ngayon na gumagalaw pala yung coordinates. Yung iba, hindi pa kompleto yung description. So, anong reforms ang ginagawa ng DPWH?
Yes, Mr. Chair. No? Ngayon po, meron po kami dinidevelop na app. No? Ito na po yung unified application wherein the coordinates from the planning stage and the coordinates for the actual ay isang mapa na lang po yung ginagamit. Unlike po ngayon nangyari before, ito pong MIPS na coordinates mo, pagdating po ng PCMA, meron ka pong bagong coordinates for the actual, hindi na po sila nag-uusap, hindi na po nababago yung coordinates sa MIPS kahit po iba yung pinaglagyan mo. So what we are developing now is a unified map kung saan po pinlat yung sa planning mo, doon na rin po lalabas ngayon yung actual. And we can see already from just looking at it whether may overlap, whether umurong, and the reasons therefore, Mr. Chair.
That will be submitted to DBM. Tama? Kasi para sila magko-consolidate sa NEP eh. Correct?
Yung app po na yun, it will be open to all. For viewing din po siya, no? Transparent po siya. Pero yun pong coordinates na yun, ang ating pong gusto mangyari, isa na lang nga po. Unless, except for legitimate reasons, justifiable reasons, kung bakit po uurong yung coordinates.
Oo nga, but in the project description, kasama na doon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That will be submitted to DBM.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And to Secretary Toledo, what reforms is DBM undertaking? Kasi last time hindi maganda yung sagot eh. No? And kaya tayo nandito ngayon. No? Because sinubo sa inyo, kung ano man yung sinubo sa inyo, kaya tayo nandito sa problemang ito.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, good afternoon. So, yes, true that we have already released the budget call for 2027, that is NBM 156. Yes, the reforms that we want to implement for 2027 budget preparation is, one is very important, Mr. Chair, is to have this RDC approval of the projects that should be implemented at the regional level. So dapat may confirmation, even endorsement from the RDC. Okay. Second is for infrastructure agencies, Tier 1 must already be supported by a list of projects. Okay. Kailangan may listahan na po tayo ng projects as far as the Tier 1 and Tier 2. Now, failure to comply with that submission of complete and accurate set of what we call the BP forms, yung project profile and supporting documents, it will now be, of course, automatically limited to budgetary requirements or allocation for Tier 1s. As a matter of fact, Mr. Chair, initial meeting already discussed with the DPWH on what are the reforms to be undertaken. Nag-usap na po kami, and these are some of the initiatives that we've been implementing for this 2027 budget preparation.
In other words, how do you now evaluate whether a project is shovel-ready? Because nasa circular nyo ito many years na dapat shovel-ready siya, dapat implementation-ready siya, pero hindi naman ganun ang nangyayari. No, because pinapalitan pa nila on the ground eh. Now, how can it be implementation ready if you can change yung pinaka-basic niya, location where to construct that project?
Okay. So with that, Mr. Chair, we'll be strict in that area wherein dapat yung listahan nila hindi nagbabago. And as I mentioned, it should be endorsed by the RDC. Kasi sa RDC po, may prosesong ginagawa po doon that including the civil society organization, may partner po tayo, even the local government units, and even the regional offices of the different departments have this member of the RDC. So, yan po yung ating to be strictly implemented as far as the submission of the requirements. And not just filling up the forms, but compliance to the form, particularly on the RDC endorsement, at the same time yung CSO endorsement also, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Secretary Toledo, no, kindly educate us. Kasi pag kinakausap namin yung mga governors who also compose the RDC, di ba?
Yes.
Off yung timing, yung budget call nauna kaysa doon sa submission ng regional development plan. So how would you synchronize? Kung tapos na yung budget call, wala pa yung RDC, how can you rely on the RDC plans, regional development plans, kung late sila nagsasubmit and they're not even ahead of the budget call. Kasi ang budget call starts from January to March or April. March, di ba? Pero yung RDC, natatapos sila mga August, September, minsan October. So how can you rely now on the input or output ng mga regional development councils kung nauna kayo?
Okay. Mr. Chair, based sa bawat budget call po, may naka-indicative budget preparation calendar po doon. And nakalagay po doon, right now we issue the January, we issue the budget call. Ang nakalagay po dito, may nakalagay po tayong mga coordination na ginagawa in terms of sa mga ating RDC, which basically, under this calendar, indicative lang po, February ang nangyayari po yung RDC coordination po. So, nandun pa rin po siya sa
Yes,
sa
pero wala pa
indicative
silang
ceiling.
final regional development plans in February.
It should have been...
Indicative lang.
Yes, Mr. Chair. But syempre po, we have to include that already at dapat makonsider na po yan kasi if ever, madidelay po tayo ng pagsubmit ng
Yeah,
ating
no,
budget.
my point is, i-synchronize ninyo.
Yes.
Dapat final yung regional development plans based on the submissions of the provincial, city, municipal, even barangay development plans. I-consolidate, pero that should come ahead of the budget call.
Mr.
Diba?
Chair, interjection po on this
Yeah,
point.
hintayin ko lang muna sagot.
Yes, Mr.
Senator.
Chair.
Di ba dapat ganon?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Because as early as first quarter po, we already issued this one, or January, since it's early January, kaya alam na rin po nila yung supposed to be the process, Mr. Chair.
Ko pa rin makuha na hindi sila synchronized. Sabi nyo, magre-rely kayo sa RDC submission. Anong re-relyan nyo kung hindi pa sila tapos? Sa regional development plans. I'm all for that, kasi ito yung lagi yung pinilaban na dapat may consultation sa mga local development councils.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Chair, ang RDC process naman or yung pagpaplano, it even that is start naman right after or once we issue the budget call. Dapat ginagawa na po yan even before the issuance of the budget call. So we're just saying that the consultation or the Regional Development Council consultation should have been done in February during the budget preparation
Exactly
cycle.
my point. Alam nyo, para hindi rin magulo, kasi yung mga congressmen, district representatives, they are represented even in the barangay development councils.
Yeah.
More so sa city, municipal, and provincial.
Okay.
They can attend Doon sila makipagbakbakan, ano ba yung tulay sa district nila na gusto nila ipagawa.
Okay.
Para pagpasok sa NEP, pagdating ng budget call, naka-incorporate na. Ang trabaho nila ngayon, pagdating sa Congress, bantayan yung kanilang yung
Endorse.
projects na naka-incorporate sa kanilang local development plans, hindi ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kaya nagkakaroon ng mga
Yeah.
insertions na walang consultation sa mga agencies implementing. Kasi nga, hindi kasali yung kanilang mga projects
Okay, Mr. Chair. Yes, noted that on Mr.
Yeah.
Chair. We will also coordinate with the DepDep because they are the secretary
Correct.
of the RDC, Mr.
Correct.
Chair.
Thank you.
As far as planning is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Senator
Chair.
Risa.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Regarding dun sa synchronization na tinatanong ng Chair sa DBM, naalala ko nga po nung pinasa natin yung batas tungkol sa DepDev, which succeeded the NEDA, na meron po silang vetting at saka even some kind of veto power over certain kinds of projects. Baka pwedeng makahingi, Mr. Chair, ang komite natin ng input from DepDev, paano sila timely maka-input, maka-intervene doon sa mga, lalo na yung mga major infra, including flood control projects, na eventually ipapasok ng executive sa NEP para hindi rin po sila mahuli sa consolidate ng DBM sa lahat ng budget requests ng mga department. So, for the record, Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
salamat po.
Back to Senator Sherwin.
Thank you for those interventions, Senator Risa, Senator Lacson, Chairman. Secretary Toledo, ang punto dito is, number one, timing. Talagang may off yung timing ng RDC. Kaya nagiging complication yan. Maraming mga governor, may mga projects sila, pero hindi nila nasa-submit on time kasi nga yung timing off. So tignan nyo yung timing. No, dahil kung gusto ho na talaga natin yung totoong bottoms up na galing sa RDC, you need to fix the timing. And then number 2, strict implementation, Secretary, dahil matagal ko nang nakikita sa inyong budget circular yung shovel ready, implementation ready. Pero hindi naman, wala naman hong sumusunod. No? Walang sumusunod sa shovel ready. In fact, ang totoong nangyayari, Secretary Bernabe, is hinahabol yung pondo. Rather yung pondo humahabol sa project. So ibig sabihin, dahil ng pondo doon, gagawa na lang kahit wala pang mga accurate na coordinates para lang malagay sa NEP. Pag nalagay na sa NEP, at least may budget na on the ground babaguhin. Kaya ang layo, nakita ko sa presentation nyo kanina, 2 kilometers ang difference. Mabuti kung ang difference, konti lang. And almost more than 86%, more than 50 meters. Iba, mas malayo pa. So, nagiging lokohan lang yung sinasubmit nyo sa DBM. Para lang magkapondo. Yun lang hinahabol, para magkapondo. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, perhaps po sa iba pong mga items, posible po na ganyan po ang nangyayari
I think
po.
tama yun kasi yun rin yung nasa affidavit ni Yusek Bernardo na binasa ko ulit na mayroong pondo tapos pinasa-submit yung mga RD para punuan yung pondo. Yung listahan. So, ibig sabihin, hinahabol yung pondo No, hindi yung project ang hinahabol ng pondo.
Long and short, contractor friendly.
Parang tama ho kayo, Chairman. No? Kasi may kausap ng contractor rin po yung mga quote-unquote proponent. No, my point of the matter, Yusek Bernabe, is padating na ulit 2020, actually, ang bilis nga, padating na yung 2027 budget. And we cannot, hindi natin pwedeng gawin yung ginawa natin noong 2026 na naglilinis tayo. Kaya na-delay ho yung budget because sa paglilinis ng project. So dapat ngayon pa lang maayos na yung submission to DBM para pag-submit sa amin, maayos na rin. No, that's the point I'm trying to make.
I agree, Mr. Chair. We agree totally, and we will ensure that the coordinates and the plans are verified by the RDs, by the DEs, para po may accountability when they submit plans that are not implementable or later on babaguhin or yun nga po yung nabagit yung nagawa-gawa lang po.
And mind you, Senator Win, pardon my intervention again. Sa kabila ng pagkahigpit-higpit nyo at pag-handle hanggang sa BICAM, may nakalusot pa rin, may nasili pa rin kami, may desilting, meron pa rin flood control na 100 million in the 2026 budget. So this is not to put you on the spot, pero hindi ka naman Superman para makita lahat yan. But I'm telling you, may nakita pa rin kaming 100 million na flood control. E ang sabi ng DPWH, 0 flood control. In spite of that, mukhang nasingitan pa rin kayo sa BICAM.
Meron kasing Senping na yung napapoint out nyo rin, yung Basic Infrastructure Program. May mga titles doon na very vague. No? For example, yung Basic Infrastructure Program, tsaka yung isa yung Convergence, na hindi, even kayo, hindi nyo rin masagot kung ano yun Tama po ba?
Tama, Mr. Chair. Tama
Kung
po.
hindi mo masagot ng DPWH, kung hindi nyo maintindihan kayo mismo, paano namin maintindihan mo yun? No?
Kaya po, Mr. Chair, we really commend po yung through your leadership during the committee noon pong ating nilinis ang budget ng DPWH. Moving forward nga po, maganda nga po rin nakalagay na sa line item. Yun po mga coordinates, yun po mga station numbers. That way, hindi na po pwede mag-deviate from what was planned and hindi na po ma-alter yung programa.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, if I just can add, habang ongoing sir yung validation nitong 30,000 flood control projects, ang isa pong direction ni Secretary is i-map out na po itong 30,000 na to para pong makita po natin ano po pa yung gaps na pwedeng paglagyan in the future po. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, relevant question. How will you deal now with the substandard and ghost projects? Nandiyan yan.
Yes po.
Anong pondo gagamitin nyo para i-correct yung naging substandard? Palagi ko, mas mahirap gawin yung substandard kasi aayusin pa yan. Kesa doon sa ghost, that's another
Yes, Your
problem
Honor.
altogether. How will you deal with it? Saan kayo kukuha ng pondo?
Diyan po, isa pong example tungkol sa Kalumpit, Bulacan, Your Honor. Pinuntahan po namin ni Secretary yan and doon po talagang may mga ghost projects. The problem about it, sir, Your Honor, is tama po yun na may mga ghost po doon. Ngayon po, ang pina-find out, paano pa rin po malalagyan ng flood control project ang mga to para hindi naman po talaga maapektuhan araw-araw yung mga residente po doon sa barangay na yun.
Tanong ko pa rin, saan kayo kukuha ng pondo? Wala na sa item yan ng 2026.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair.
So how will you deal with it?
Ito po is going forward sa 2027 onwards, Your Honor.
In the meantime, bahain na muna yung mga taga Bulacan.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
May,
Mr. Chair, actually, we will have to confer with DBM. We have savings from 2025. And we intend to
Ang savings
those
ninyo nasa mga
savings.
50 billion.
Tama po,
This is
Mr.
according
Chair.
to Secretary Vince
Yes,
Dizon.
Mr.
ano?
Chair. Ang issue lang po namin,
Anyway,
Sorry.
as per Supreme Court ruling, di ba? Yung executive, within the respective offices, executive, legislative, judiciary, pwede silang, or even the constitutional offices, pwede mag-realign from savings.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
So, tama, you have to deal with DBM and the President eventually. So, para ma-realign, para magamit din sa mga project na nakatiwangwang.
That is the
Thank
intention,
you,
Mr. Chair.
Senator Win.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'll jump to another topic. Narinig ko kanina sa DOJ na meron ng 5 cases that were filed. Is that correct?
There are 2 cases, Mr. Chair, that have been filed and been forwarded to the Office of the Ombudsman. This was filed with the Sandigan Bayan. And there are 3 cases which are going to come out within the week po.
Okay. And then how many cases were already filed
Bale,
with the appropriate courts?
there are 2. There are 2 already, Mr. Chair. These are the ones filed with before the Sandigan Bayan.
Okay. And that includes the one against Mr. Saldico.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Anong update na ho kay Mr. Saldico? Nasaan na ba ho siya?
Well, ang information po na meron kami is that yun nga, nasa Portugal daw po. And I think the Secretary of Justice has committed to undertake measures to coordinate with the appropriate agencies to try and find ways and means to track him and bring him back, sir.
So what are the concrete steps that the agency is doing in order to bring him back and hold him to account?
Well,
Ano yung mga konkretong hakbang na ginagawa na po ng inyong tanggapan?
well, there is, of course, sir, yung cancellation ng passport of Mr. Saldico and the, I think the move to request the PCTC for the issuance of a red notice as against Mr. Saldico.
Okay. And meron na pong let's take it one by one. Meron na pong communication ang DOJ sa PT is that the PCTC, tama? The Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. Is it the DOJ who will...
It will be I believe, Mr. Chair, it will be the Office of the Ombudsman that will be making the coordination. As far as the cancellation of the passport, it will be done as soon as the case is raffled already to the appropriate division.
Na-cancel na ba ho yung passport? Ang unang tanong.
Ay, hindi po. Ang passport po kasi pwede lang hilingin yung pag-cancel niya kapag halimbawa pong na-file na sa korte at nakapag-issue na po ng warrant of arrest ng husgado.
Diba ho mayroon ng na-file na case sa Sandigan?
I'm referring, Mr. Chair, to the case of the department.
Yes.
The case that was filed, I'm not privy to the case that was filed by the Office of the Ombudsman. But you're correct. There is already one that is already pending before the Sandigan
I'm
Bayan.
talking about the case filed by government.
Yes.
In this case, para regardless whether it's Ombudsman or the DOJ, I know that you are coordinating and working cohesively to get those people back to the country. So yung mga cases na-file na ho sa Sandigan, di ba ho?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At na-cancel na ba ho yung kanyang passport?
Yung passport niya...
Filipino passport. The
Yeah,
Filipino
yung Philippine passport niya has been cancelled already. This is with respect to the case filed by, again, I have to make that distinction, filed by the Office of the Ombudsman.
Okay. And ano pong complication na meron ho siyang, I believe, narinig ko sa news, meron siyang Portuguese passport? Tama po ba?
Yes, that is what we heard also, Mr. Chair. Ang nagiging problema ho kasi natin, the challenge here is that we do not have an existing extradition treaty with Portugal, and therefore we have to look for other avenues by which we can try to get him back. This notwithstanding, meron ho kasi mga instances like, for example, if I may cite the case of former Congressman Teves. When he was in East Timor, the Philippines also did not have an extradition treaty. But through our Department of Foreign Affairs, we communicated with the Timorese government and we were told to take the track, which is to file one, just the same. And that's what we had to do just to start off the effort to try to get him back. So, posible rin pong mangyari yan ngayon dito, no, na kahit na wala po tayong extradition treaty, kung magkasundo po at yun po ang ibigay na guidance sa atin, yun po ang susundin ng ating bansa.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go
with
ahead.
the permission of
Senator
Senator-
President is recognized with the permission of Senator Gatchalian.
Thank you very much. There is a variation, and we would like you to look into this and study the possibility. What if there is a legislative warrant of arrest for any person abroad who is in a country who is a member of the IPU, the Interparliamentary Union? Is it possible to execute the legislative warrant? And can it be used? Through the IPU. Can you study that possibility?
Yes, we will do that, Mr. Chair, Mr. Senate President. We will look into this and see if it is possible to take that route, no, instead of going through the more tedious process of an extradition.
No, the person will be forced to appear and submit to the legislative warrant of, say, the Philippine Senate.
We will do that. We will heed the advice of the Chair and the Senate President.
In fact, that was the move that the government undertook in the case of Ms. Alice Guo. Si Senator Risa is very familiar with that. In fact, Senator Risa was the chair of that committee when she issued the warrant. Yun ang ginamit ng Indonesian government through their Interpol to bring her back to the country. Nagamit ho yun. So, but ang importante ho, merong notice na sa Interpol. Meron ng hakbang tayong ginawa. Meron na ba hong ganun na ginawa ho tayo sa
Meron na
Philippine
po.
Center for Transnational Crime?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the coordination was done and the request was made by the National Bureau of Investigation
Okay.
to the PCTC.
Meron na bang na-issue mga red notice or the other notices?
Wala pa po kaming, I do not have that information right now, Mr. Chair, but I can verify that with the NBI as soon as after the
I
hearing.
won't go into the details no, because
Opo.
of the sensitivity of the case. Pero ang gusto ko lang humalaman, meron na tayong hakbang na ginawa para ma-alerto na po ang Interpol at gumalaw na rin po ang Interpol sa iba't ibang parte. We don't know actually kung nasaan siya, no? Iba't ibang parte ng mundo.
Meron na po tayong hakbang na ginagawa. Ang hindi ko pa lang po alam kung ano na po ang naging tugon ng PCTC and up to what extent no action has been taken to try and implement the red notice. So we will verify that with the NBI and the PCTC, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if I have more.
Mr. Chair, Secretary Rolly,
Yes, Secretary Toledo.
yes, we just received message from our colleagues from the DepDeb, okay, as far as the RDC process, Mr. Chair, that they have already the regional plans, which is 3 years already, and the RDC budget hearings will happen February to March. So that's as far as inconsistent with our budget call calendar, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the information, Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe I still have 3 minutes. This is my last question, Mr. Chair, and gusto ko ma-take advantage po yung presence ni former Secretary Bonoan. na nandito. Secretary Bonoan, nabasa niyo na po itong affidavit ni Yusek Bernardo?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Hindi niyo ho nabasa ito, pero this was furnished to us during one of the hearings ng Blue Ribbon at na-implicate kayo dito many, many times. No? And let me just read. On page 18, sometime in 2022, Secretary Banoan directed me to submit a list of projects for possible inclusion in the NEP for fiscal year 2023 worth around 450 million. And in the same page, Engineer Alcantara gave 10% of the value of the projects. In page 19, similarly, on 2023, Secretary Bonoan directed me to submit a list of projects for possible inclusion in the NEP for fiscal year 2024 worth around 150 million. Engineer Alcantara gave 15% of the value of the projects. In page 19, in the year 2024, Secretary Bonoan also directed me to submit a list of projects for possible inclusion in the NEP for fiscal year 2021, 900 million. Tapos, in page 20, the value of the projects that I handled for Secretary Manny Bonoan was at least 5 billion per annum for the years 2023, 2024, 2025, with a 15% average commitment. Of this 15% average commitment, Secretary Manny Bonoan, 75% usually would give me 25% of the commitment, with the rest of the commitment shared between him and Secretary Cathy Cabral. And in one of our budget hearings, I believe kinumpute po to ni Chairman Senator Lacson and Senator Kiko Pangilinan, ang SOP na napunta sa inyo is worth 2.25 billion pesos since 2022.
Well,
ano po ang masasabi niyo ho dyan?
I think, Your Honor, I think this is something. Well, I think I issued a denial on this at one point in time when I learned about. I have not read the entire affidavit, but I issued a denial to it. I don't even recall actually talking about any projects at all. If there would be proposals from them, I just.
No, but this is very clear na meron kayong allocated amount
No.
at nagsasubmit sila ng project sa inyo at binibigyan kayo ng kickback.
Wala ho ako.
10%, 15%, and pag sinuma ho natin lahat yan, aabot yan to 2.2 billion pesos.
This, I completely deny, Your Honor. I don't have any allocable amount.
Mamaya, pagsasalita namin si Congressman Leandro Libiste.
Opo.
And I think he will negate what you just stated, na wala kayong allocable. Kung hindi man allocable, baka non-allocable. Pero meron. Anyway, sige.
Well, Mr. Chairman, whether allocable, non-allocable, nakakuha kayo ng kickback.
Wala po.
And the fact is, nandito tayo ngayon dito sa hearing because for the last 4 years, pinabayaan yung nangyayari to under your watch. You're the secretary of the
3 years, Your
DPWH.
Honor.
O 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. Secretary kayo ng DPWH. May mga ghost projects. May 20-25% nangyayari sa ilalim po ng inyong opisina. Kaya ako ho, personally, ako naniniwala po ako dito eh. Paano ho isang secretary palalampasin nyo itong nangyayari sa atin? Kaya ho tayo nandito sa ganitong sitwasyon ngayon eh.
Your Honor, as Secretary of the Department, I have general oversight. I have general oversight of all the implementation.
Pero kung kasali ho kayo dito sa mga kickback, yung oversight na yan, walang kwenta ho yan.
And this is what I deny, Your Honor.
Ano nyo, hindi ko makita. Sa Bulacan, sa Davao Oriental, may ghost project. Lahat ng kasama nyo, alam, in 2025, na kickback na nangyari. Kayo lang hindi nakakaalam eh.
Your Honor, I was the one actually who reported to the President where the ghost projects are in 2025.
Nung pumutok na ho to, nung nag-privilege speech na Senator Lacson dito
Hindi po.
sa Senado. But throughout the years na pumupunta ho kayo dito, wala naman kaming naririnig na may problema. Kasi in my opinion, kasali ho kayo dito. But anyways, Mr. Chairman, I'm just echoing my frustration as a Filipino, Mr. President. Nakaka-frustrate, no? Na nandito tayo ngayon, pinakikinggan natin to. Dapat ang pinakikinggan ho natin kung paano po umunlad yung bansa ho natin. Pero dahil po sa inyong masamang liderato, nandito tayo ngayon. Inaayos ho natin, hinahanap po natin sino yung mga kriminal. Hindi pa ho natin mahanap dahil nasa Portugal na nagtatago. Bakit niyo ho pinabayaan? Yun ang aking sentimento. But wag na ho kayong sumagot. I don't expect you to admit that, but I'm just airing out my frustration, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
I just want to take exception kasi sinabi nyo, ang trabaho nyo as DPWH Secretary, oversight. I cannot accept that because hands-on kayo, secretary kayo. I cannot imagine Secretary Dizon exercising oversight function over his own department. So kindly correct that because that is not correct.
Your Honor, what I'm saying is actually as secretary, I exercise overall supervision, authority,
Not oversight.
and oversight. Because I also
Sabi
rely
nyo
on
kanina,
my people.
ini-impress nyo, oversight lang kayo.
But,
I
Mr.
also
Chairman,
rely-
as Secretary, you exercise control.
I
Control. You have control over the department.
Yes, Your
All the
Honor.
way to the last janitor.
Yes, Your Honor, but I also rely on my people under me to cooperate, to do the job that they're
Secretary,
supposed
3 years,
to do.
365 days, nandoon kayo. Wala kayo naririnig 25%, 20%. Eh kami naririnig na ho namin, yung pumuputok na ho siya. Anyways, again, I'm just airing out my frustration as a Filipino. Talagang, alam niyo ho, the chairman talagang frustrated rin. Kasama ko yung mga ibang mga kababayan natin. Napakasama ng loob sa mga nangyayari. At imagine niyo ito, nangyari ito sa ilalim po ng liderato ho ninyo. No?
Tinuturo nyo mga subalterns ninyo, mga subordinates. Are you thinking ahead? You're planning to invoke the Arias Doctrine? Mabuti nandito yung DOJ. Mukhang anticipate nyo na kung ano yung defense ni Secretary Bernardo, Secretary Bonoan. Mag-i-invoke yan ng Arias Doctrine.
Your Honor, what I'm just trying to say is actually, in the hierarchy of the department, of course, I exercise overall supervision, no? But I have also undersecretaries under me, assistant secretaries, regional directors, and
Ang point ko,
discipline
Mr.
units.
Secretary, parang you're thinking ahead. Kung sakaling nasa korte na, yun ang i-invoke ninyo. Anyway, are you done? So, Senator Pangilinan is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Itutuloy ko lang, no? Well, just for the record, under our Philippine jurisprudence, a general denial is actually very weak in the face of specific allegations. So, yung general denial ninyo, baka kailangan nyo ng mas mahusay na abogado, former Secretary Bonoan, because it will not hold water. But anyway, having said that, we would also like to raise some questions on the testimony of the affidavit of former Yusek Bernardo. So, based on this denial of the good secretary, Mr. Bernardo, you continue to stand by your affidavit. Is that right?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Would you like to add? Because obviously, it's his word against yours.
Mr. Chair, I have already signed my affidavit, so I affirm and I will stand by it po.
Okay, thank you. I go now to your testimony, Mr. Bonoan, with respect to Mr. former Yusek Olaivar. You have
Excuse
Mr.
me, Your Honor. Me?
Yes. Sorry, Bernardo. Bernardo. Mr. Bernardo's testimony, where he identified Trigive Olaivar of the DepEd. Sometime in 2024, Olaivar personally called me for meeting to discuss about unprogrammed appropriations supposedly for the Office of the Executive Secretary. Subsequently, I submitted this list to Yusek Olaivar. Yusek Olaivar told me that commitment is 15%. Boss, quote unquote, 15 yan. Thereafter, the DPWH received a special allotment release order for 2.85 billion. Engineer Alcantara would collect and deliver the agreed 15% commitment to me, meaning Bernardo, which I delivered or caused to be delivered to Yusek Olaivar in Magallanes, Makati. Would you care to comment, Mr. Olaivar, as to the allegations that have been put forth against you?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Ako po, I deny those allegations. Wala pong katotohanan, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Lahat po from the communication to nag-deliver to kay ES daw po, na wala naman po akong personality kay Executive Secretary. That time, kung 2024 baka yun yung papasok po ho kami sa DepEd. Wala ho. I mean, kahit nakakausap po sa Executive Secretary, hindi po. And sa deliveries po, 15, wala po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Would you care to perhaps give your own understanding of bakit ka therefore sinasangkot dito?
Actually, malaking
Siguro,
pala.
sabi mo kasi hindi totoo.
Yes
so
po.
I'm sure na-shock ka.
Yes po.
I'm sure
Totoo po
naisip
yan.
mo, teka, bakit ako pinupuntirya rito?
Totoo po yun, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
So bakit kaya?
The-
Anong sagot mo?
Ay, ako lang medyo palaisipan po sa akin, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Dahil kilala ko po si Yusek Bernardo, Yusek siya, Yusek po ko, and from previous yung na sinabi niya na kung paano kami nagkakilala. Pero hindi ho kami nag-away, hindi ho kami nagdebate. Wala ho akong makitang rason na kung bakit ako po ini-implicate niya. Even sa akin po. And sa pamilya ko, naging malaking palaisipan po na kung bakit po na-implicate po rito. Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Okay, so again, that is a general denial. No? So you are asserting, you're telling this committee that Mr. Bernardo is a liar.
Doon po sa allegation niya sa akin, yun lang po yung kaya ko pong sagutin.
Yes,
Na
that
hindi-
he is lying.
Opo, Mr.
That he is a liar with respect to
Doon po sa...
the allegations against you.
Yes po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We go na.
Pangilinan,
Yes,
follow-up lang.
Please, go ahead.
Alam mo, pag tinignan natin yung GAA, lalabas doon yung sinabi niya, mahirap ang invento ng figure, ha? Lalabas doon yung 2.85 billion from the unprogrammed appropriations. I'm not addressing this to you. I'm just saying na paano mag-iimbento ng numero si Yusek Bernardo. Mahirap yun. Eksakto pag tinignan natin yung General Appropriations Act at yung SARO na na-release, may listahan ng items. Eksakto, 2.85 billion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Si Engineer Alcantara, kilala mo?
Na-meet ko po dahil po yung sa DepEd po kami, kapag parang nagkaroon po ng lakad si Presidente sa Bulacan. So kami po yung magkakasama nyon, nandun po siya. Tungkol po ito dun sa classroom after po mabaha yung Bulacan. So tumulong po sila sa pag-repair bago po dumating si Presidente. Your Honor.
So kilala
Mr.
mo
Chair.
si Engineer Alcantara?
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Ano yung Magallanes? Meron ka bang bahay sa Magallanes?
Wala po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Ako rin po, yun din po isa na kinagulat ko po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Would you care to clarify, Mr. Bernardo, ano yung Magallanes? Would you know why? Just a brief explanation or a...
Mr. Chair, kasama po doon sa pinaliwanag ko sa aking affidavit, meron pong instances na merong delivery doon sa Magallanes area. So yun po yung, bago po mag-expressway ng South.
Is it a public place or a private?
Yes po, Mr. Chair, public place.
Public place.
Public place po, sa
Okay.
parking po doon.
Okay, okay. Ikaw ba umuwi sa Magallanes, Mr. Olivar?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, no po.
Makati, you go home to Makati?
No po, Mr. Chair. Your
Where do you
Honor.
go home?
Paranaque po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Okay, Paranaque. Okay. We go to Mr. Ngu. You two have been identified in the affidavit of Mr. Bernardo. Would you care to clarify or explain what is your role according to Mr. Bernardo? Please go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, Your Honor, I absolutely deny all the allegations made by Yusek Bernardo. That's the reason why I already filed a case against Yusek on defamatory insinuations. For this, I invoke the sub judice rule because it's pending already with the appropriate courts.
Yes. Well, just for the record, the sub judice rule does not apply to committee hearings in aid of legislation. In fact, the Supreme Court has already ruled. Otherwise, anyone can just file a case before any court, and if he's called here to the Senate for investigations in aid of legislation, he will just say, there is already a pending case, and therefore, the sub judice rule applies. That is not so. If at all, what you can do is to invoke your right against self-incrimination and refuse to answer. But you cannot cite sub judice as a basis not to answer questions raised by any of the committees in the Senate. Just for the information of Mr. Ngu. So, based on the... So, tatlo po sila na nagde-deny. And you also, therefore, because you filed a case of defamation, you're also of the view that Mr. Bernardo is a liar, at least with respect to the allegations against you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Sige. Now, I go back to yung mga tanong tungkol dito sa yung nabanggit kanina tungkol sa mga yung mga substandard projects. Kasi sinasabi kanina, yung mga discussion ay hindi pala ganun karami ang ghost projects. Of the how many? 400, what was the numbers that you said, Mr. Yusek Bernardo?
416, Mr. Chair.
And of the 416, you have confirmed how many ghost projects?
We are yet to confirm the final figure, Mr. Chair, subject to the ICI validation.
But you mentioned about recommending the filing of cases.
Yes, yes.
How many cases have you recommended for filing?
2 cases, but involving around 14 contracts, Mr. Chair.
14 contracts that are ghost projects.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so there are 14 ghost project contracts, tama? Your recommendation is to file 14 cases. Now, with respect to substandard projects, meron ba kayong numero?
Wala pa rin, Mr. Chair, except for that Mimaropa case filed against Zaldico. That is a substandard project, Mr. Chair.
Okay, because kaya natin i-distinguish kung mali yung coordinates, MIPIS, etc., therefore hindi ghost, but MIPS, therefore hindi ghost dahil merong proyekto nasa ibang lugar lang. We're also interested to know alin sa mga proyektong inimbestigahan ninyo yung substandard. Dahil doon din, malaking kurakot din ang nangyayari. Hindi lamang ibig sabihin bumaba ang ghost projects, ibig sabihin, alamin natin gaano karami doon sa 30,000 mga proyekto ninyo ang naging substandard. Is that part of your investigation and auditing?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Kaya po, yun po yung subject.
One of the news items about Congressman Leviste, wherein he himself had the excavation undertaken in one of the flood control projects in Batangas, and instead, he cross-checked yung specifications, imbis na 15 meters, if I'm not mistaken, ang nakita niya 4 meters lang. So marami rin, posible, maraming ganong klaseng proyekto. May proyekto, hindi ghost, pero grabe ang pagka-substandard. Tama?
Mr. Chair, yes po. Ganun din po yung sa Mimaropa.
So
Yung
I'm
mga-
curious, bakit meron kayong figures for ghost pero wala kayong figures for substandard? At least tentative figures. Bakit wala?
Mr. Chair, for substandard po kasi mas merong difficulty in determining. Kasi po kailangan of course ng engineers, sometimes po pag yung structure ay buo na, kailangan pong hintayin na matibag. No? So ang mas madali po ma-determine is the ghost. Kasi po makita na wala agad, automatic po. Kapag naman po merong structure, we will have to see, kailangan pong tingnan yung mga materyales, yung mga, ganun po. So meron po
Okay,
siyang
so-
difficulty.
So, in that case, it will take a little more time. Tama? Okay. On another matter, nabanggit nyo kanina na may mga itong tiwangwang na mga proyekto na kailangan tapusin pero wala sa budget. Eh di ba may liability ang mga contractor na pwede ninyong administratively habulin para tapusin itong mga proyekto? Ginagawa rin yun, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yes,
Di ba?
Mr. Chair.
You go against the performance bonds, right?
Yes, Mr. Chair. In fact, we have sent already, we have called on several bans ng mga contractors po on several infrastructure projects.
What about the completion of the projects because of substandard or hindi natapos? Kasama din yan sa inyong kontrata, hindi ba? Meron silang pananagutan na pagka hindi kompleto, kulang, tatapusin nila, hindi ba? Within a period, di ba?
Mr. Chair, yes po. 1 year po, pwede po i-call yung kanilang, to check kung meron liability. Kapag naman po yung...
Ibig sabihin, by kailan? September, October, 1 year na. Pag lumampas ng 1 year, hindi nyo na pwedeng habulin?
Pwede pa rin po, Mr. Chair. No? Ibabalik lang po yung hawak naming retention bond, pero po yung kanilang liability is still there.
Can you also submit to this committee the status of all these performance bonds and your efforts to recover them and forfeit them?
We will do, Mr. Chair.
No? Because yun nga, immediate yun, low-hanging fruit yun. No? Baka hanggang ngayon wala pa kayo na forfeit. Hindi ko alam. Alam mo ba?
As of now, Mr. Chair, yung pong pagpasok namin, wala pa po. Kasi po meron pa rin siyang due process requirement.
Oo nga.
So we have called on the bonds, pero po yung pag-claim po, yung final decision, wala pa po.
Okay, please submit to this committee the status of all these actions and proceedings regarding the forfeiture of their performance bonds.
We will comply, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. Ito na lang siguro kay Ginoong Alcantara, engineer. Nabanggit ka rin ilang ulit na ikaw ang taga-bigay ng porsyento sa affidavit ni Mr. Bernardo, ni Engineer Bernardo. Do you confirm itong statement ni Engineer Bernardo?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, pinapatotoo mo yung lahat, no? Nabasa mo ba yung...
Hindi po. Your Honor, explain ko lang po, no?
Yes, go ahead.
Ako lang po yung kausap ni boss, pero hindi ko po kilala ko yung sino yung mga kausap niya.
Yes, pero ikaw ang kasi maraming beses
Yes po.
nagde-deliver,
Yes po, Your Honor.
etc. Upon the instructions.
Yes po, Your Honor.
So okay. So, pinapatotoo mo yung mga deliveries ng 15% kay Ginoong Bonoan. Tama po ba yun? Nakalagay dito sa testimonya na...
Sir, gaya po ng bilanggit ko, nagdi-deliver po ako nung instructions ni Yusek Bernardo sa akin, pero hindi ko po alam yung detalye kung kanino niya po i-deliver.
ay dinideliver mo kay Yusek?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Wala kang dinideliver kay ni Mr.
Wala po, Your Honor. Sorry
Yes.
po, nakalimutan ko po magpaalam sa PG. Sorry po, nakasagot ko na.
Okay lang,
Pasensya na
okay
po.
lang. Sige na, hindi na ako magtatanong
Hindi po.
hanggat magpaalam ka muna.
Hindi po, okay na po.
Okay.
Yun lang po, sir. I admit, ako po yung nagdadala, pero hindi po ako yung
Okay.
personal na
Saan
nagdadala
galing
sa
yun?
kanila.
Saan galing yung mga perang di pinadadala? Sa mga kontraktor, tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
So hindi ito public works money. Hindi.
Hindi po. Hindi po.
Private.
Yes po.
Kasi wala pa yung sinasabi ni ni Engineer Bernardo, ito yung nasa GAB pa lang o nasa NEP pa lang may 25% na, tama? O 10%,
Yes, Your Honor.
tama? So, hindi pondo ng DPWH.
No po, Your Honor.
Kinukuha ng DPWH sa mga kontraktor. Tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasi ang mga kontraktor, yan ang, kumbaga, paraan para matiyak na makuha nila yung proyekto. Di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, okay. So, paano yun? Marami dun sa mga proyekto hindi napatupad dahil nagkabukuhan na.
Yun po yung risk nila, sir. Risk po
Okay.
nila. Kung di po natuloy, hindi naman po namin na...
Hindi ba kayo hinahabol nitong mga kontraktor?
Hindi naman po, Your Honor.
Ha?
Hindi po.
O hindi pa?
Hindi pa po siguro.
Pero billion din siguro. Daang milyon at least. Itong mga in advance na hindi natuloy yung proyekto. Tama? I mean, base sa yung experience.
Hindi ko lang po ma-sure, Your Honor, kung meron po mga gano'n na...
Engineer Bernardo, tama ba ba? Aabot siguro ng daang milyon o hanggang bilyon ang mga nag-advance, pero hindi, dahil nga dito sa nangyaring flood control scam, hindi makukuha yung proyekto. Tama?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko po masyadong detalyado yon kung halimbawa po yung hindi natuloy, maghahabol. Dahil most of the times po, hindi ko naman po kausap ang contractors dito. While there may be sometimes na proyekto naman na dahil po nagkagulo, hindi na po nakolekta sa kanila. Meron po
Sir Kiko?
ganun.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Kaya nga may balita, si Carlo Diskaya naniningil sa mga congressmen kasi nag-advance
At naipit.
Kasi pumutok tong flood control, nakapag-advance, nagte-text siya sa mga congressmen, naniningil. Tama ba yan, Carly?
Your Honor, hindi po. Humihingi lang din po ako ng tulong sa kanila at saka syempre po, talagang may mga utang po talaga sila. Pero
Yun na nga yun.
hindi po ako hindi po sabi ng extortion po, hindi po.
Ripan, dumingi ka ng reimbursement kasi nga hindi natuloy yung project kasi nagkagulo-gulo.
Paano nagkautang yung congressman?
Nag-advance ang contractor.
Kaya nga, pero congressman yun.
Hindi ko
naman.
na alam yun. Hindi ko na alam. Thank you.
So binabanggit ninyo, dahil contractor siya So inaamin niya na may mga kausap talaga. Anyway, inamin naman talaga niya na may kausap siyang mga congressman na yun na nga, na naniningil. Anyway,
Mr. Chair, may I interject?
yes, please, go ahead.
Let me just ask D. Alcantara. Nabanggit po kayo sa statement ni Yusek Bernardo na kayo po are you telling us now na wala ho kayong rekta na communication kay dating Yusek Try-Give at saka kay Mr. Ngo? Saan ho niyo dinideliver yung pera na para sa kanila intended?
Kay Yusek Bernardo lang po.
Pero never kayong nag-encounter ni Try-Give at saka ni Mr. Ngo?
Hindi po. Hindi po sir.
Kaya nga, matanong ko lang, saan ho galing yung binibigay nyo kay Yusek Bernardo para allegedly ibigay dito sa dalawa?
Sa contractor nga po.
Sa contractor.
Yes po.
So hindi ikaw mismo ang nag-aabot sa dalawang
Ay,
yan.
hindi po, Your Honor. Hindi po.
Pero kilala mo sila?
Si
Yusek.
Yusek Olaybar po. Kilala ko po siya dahil nung DepEd inspection po ni Pangulo.
Aha. What about
nakita
si
po kami.
Mr. Ngo?
Hindi ko po kilala, Your Honor.
So none at all, sir, kasi base dun sa statement, hindi direkta na inaabot ninyo ang pera dun kay Mr. Olaybar at kay Mr. Ngo.
Yes, Your Honor.
So dumadaan kay Yusek Bernardo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ayun. And then galing po ito sa contractor. Ilang contractors po ito? Are we talking?
Depende po, sir, sa bubaba pong listing. May listing naman po kaming sinasabit. Kung bawa po, kung ang listing ay 2 po, depende po sa contractor kung sino yung kayang mag-risk. Kasi pera po nila i-advance.
Hindi mo na inaalam para kanino yung i-deliver mo kay former Yusek.
Hindi na po, Your Honor.
Ayun. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Pangilinan.
Mr. Bernardo, ano naman ang masasabi niyo dun sa naging testimony rin ni Mr. Ngu denying what you alleged?
Mr. Chair, uulitin ko po, nakalagay po sa affidavit kito at tatayuan ko po ito. At ako po ay permis doon sa aking affidavit na nangyari po ang lahat ng dineklara ko dito.
Okay. I have no further questions.
You know, on that point, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind. Well, the public are listening. We have two resource persons who are saying that Yusek Bernardo is lying. But Yusek Bernardo is a state witness now because he has already been evaluated and included in the witness protection program. Is that right?
That is
Check,
correct, Mr. Chair.
All right. And just one point on the substandard that you mentioned earlier, Senator Pangilinan, Mr. Chairman. Itong mga, madali makita nyo yung ghost. This is addressed to the DPWH. Ano? Kita na eh. So madaling ayusin, madaling kasuhan. Okay. Ang sinasabi